buttery, flaky crust. You've seen that, right? With the old people?
No, I've not seen
I
that.
can't say it. It's so funny. There's a NFL game in Germany today.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It just started.
I wonder what like the audience for that is like.
I don't know. I'm not European.
I don't feel like that Germans would embrace it that much.
You don't think so?
But I'm not German. I don't know.
I don't know. Can you hear this? You hear that in your headset? Can you?
I'm honestly not. It's so loud regardless. I'm just like not even bothered by it, man. I don't have sensitive ears like that.
This shit's fucking good, I'll tell you what.
Dude, Solar Luna? Yeah, some of the best coffee in DC.
Cheap too, man. Well priced. I'll tell you that.
Fairly priced. It just feels like a great disruptor that this city needed.
Yeah. R.I.P. Phil's. They're putting a Foxtrot there.
I saw. Interesting.
You a Foxtrot guy?
Never been.
Okay, me neither.
Maybe I'll try it out.
Natalie's a fan.
Really?
Because it's like a convenience store too. I think that you can get like snacks and stuff in there.
Oh, okay. It's an experience thing.
I'll put this down.
I mean, you want to just like take it out of the bag permanently?
No, I don't want to be eating during this.
Okay. I'm gonna be eating during this.
You are?
Here and there. Yeah, I mean it's. Let me just set the mood for the listeners, right? Welcome to District Gooner Pod, episode 16. KP sitting next to me. Steven, Sunday morning. What's up?
Howdy, everybody. It's Sunday morning after a sad Saturday. But the mood is good in here. The vibes are good. So I like the energy this morning.
Yeah, definitely a lot better energy than yesterday. Coffee's going, iced coffees, what I'm drinking. Like I said, Solar Luna, not an ad, just a big fan. And yeah, I think there's just so much to talk about. But first, these croissants are really good, man. I'm gonna take another bite of this pistachio one.
Delicious. They got that buttery, flaky crust. Delicious. All the way. All right, last crinkle of the day.
There it is. He's giving in. The croissant is out of the bag. The coffee is going. Man, dude. Obviously, yesterday, heated day. Oof. The way that things ended, just because it felt so undeserving to walk out of there with 0 points. And the manager didn't hold anything back. I've been listening to some punditry around, and like Gary Neville agrees maybe that something was a little iffy there about the decision making. I mean, Carragher is just going off and saying he loved the passion from the manager. So I don't know, when some of those people are backing your club and saying, something doesn't feel right, maybe something just wasn't right.
Agreed. And I think we can say what he did say and the passion that he said it with, the emotion. I like that. Like, I like that in my manager. Like, I like that someone representing the club and letting people like, no, hey, we don't think this is fair. We think we were robbed. The standards aren't high enough for this league with these referees. somebody's got to say it. Jurgen Klopp, I think, is someone that does say it. Liverpool's known as the club that typically has written things to the federation. But hey, I think you stand up. You stand up for your club. You stand up for your players. He did it in a passionate manner. I don't think he was out of line at all. He didn't come across as crass or anything like that. I think it was appropriate. The way he came across was absolutely appropriate.
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing I want to touch on, as you just mentioned, Liverpool, is there was a game earlier this season, Newcastle, Liverpool. I think there were some iffy decisions in that game as well. So it's starting to become a trend now with this club, and it just really questions the integrity of the decision makers for me. And I just want to say this is episode 16, so what we're going to talk about, probably going to put this episode out on Tuesday. I think the Arsenal play on Wednesday.
I believe so. I'll check.
I think there's a Champions League game on Wednesday, so maybe we'll preview that. A lot of questions off the pitch that we're just going to talk about today.
Yeah, I guess let's jump into it. I kind of think we just bounce some questions around. Lots happened recently. I know we missed the pod after which game was it? The Sheffield game. We missed the Cup game against West Ham. So we've been away from a week. We had a listener asking, "Oh, so you're done? You guys are done with this, huh?" Oh, we're not done. We're just getting started, baby.
Just getting started, baby. 1-6. So here we go. Next thing you know, 20. Next thing you know, 100. So, but hey, what matters is the performances. What matters is the conversation. And let's start with the cup game that we missed and clashed out of. Arsenal, West Ham, 3-0. 3-1.
3-1.
Sorry,
yeah,
yes, 3-1. A lot of people are saying good, we're out of the cup. Where do you stand on it?
I don't mind being out of the cup. I don't like the manner in which we lost, to be fair. Taking a game like yesterday, we lost. I think we still showed we were respectable. We were a respectable side. It was a good game. I think we walk away from that feeling, obviously not great because we lost in a terrible manner, but the team played well enough. That West Ham game, I don't think you walk away feeling good. It's a bad taste in your mouth. The performance wasn't there. It's one of those games where you get in the locker room, I think you're just absolutely quiet, like, damn, we just got spanked. We didn't do what we needed to do. We didn't our fire wasn't there, our energy wasn't there. We didn't win the duels, if you will. So in that sense, not great, but to be out of the cup, to be honest with you, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I looked at the cup, the teams that were remaining in there, and it looked like one that we just could really win. So from that standpoint, it's a trophy that we miss out on. That's disappointing because then I really don't want people to get ahead of their skis and think that like we're winning the league. You know, so it's not like that trophy's in the bag. You know, those are just
Absolutely
extra
not.
trophies that we're talking about. So that's not the right mindset to be in at this part of the season. And what I walked away from that game disappointed with was the decision at the end. We were losing 3-1. Martin Ødegaard comes on.
It was 3-0 at that point before the subs came on. It was 3-0.
We were losing 3-0. Ødegaard comes on. Saka comes on. Martinelli comes on. Ødegaard now misses the game against Newcastle. So I know there's some questions. Just some of the game management there. Some of it's still just not quite clicking. I feel like some of the decision making is just not fully there that I can't get behind. And I gotta say, man, your guy Reece Nelson, I don't feel like he's shown out the last couple of games that he's been given time.
One to watch. No, I don't think he did either. Get these opportunities, man. You gotta take it. You have to take it. It's really unfortunate. I also would say, I think you kind of hit it on the head. Something that's interesting. 3-0. You're putting some of our big dogs on. Why? Like, are you putting him on for a fitness reason? Like, you want him to just get minutes? I don't think so. They've been playing all season. I don't understand why you put him on at a 3-0 game. You're already treating it. You already did this huge rotation. Why are they coming on? It doesn't make much sense to me. Game management, something we kind of hit on frequently. Game management sometimes seems like it's lacking. Young manager, you can say. I don't know completely what the thought process is. But, hey, I guess we move on from the cup. I think it was a winnable competition. League is absolutely not guaranteed. So I think every competition that we're in, we need to try to win. I'd love to save our legs for the end of the season, though, to be honest with you, because that's typically when the wheels fall off, baby. So, hey, I'm okay. If we're gonna lose a game, I'd like to see the performance just be better. Make sure we look respectable.
Yeah, no, that's fair. At least put up a compete,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So, and it just wasn't there. I want to reflect a little bit on the narrative yesterday with the Newcastle game. A lot of focus was around how many players were out for Newcastle, surprisingly, right?
Yeah.
And I think they were missing maybe two kind of key players, is what I would say. I know Isak for sure. Like that was a miss. Okay. But now I want to turn attention to just the injuries that we have had.
Yeah.
And the team that was fielded yesterday. If you think about it, Gabriel Jesus, not in the squad. Thomas Partey, not in the squad. Martin Ødegaard, not in the squad. Jurrien Timber, not in the squad. I mean, if that guy gets a start at the start of the season, that's a statement. That's the quality of the player. So he could have been a starter in this game. I'm sure of it. Who else is injured? Any other injuries that we have?
I mean, you could go as far as saying someone like Smith-Rowe. He's not available. Our bench was light yesterday.
Yeah. So
we're looking for a mid. Our mid substitution. Yesterday at the top we discussed Zinchenko could have been at the left 8. That was our option. We didn't really have an option to come into the midfield. So we're just light all around. I think that the ones you named could be those potential starting players, but even coming off the bench, man, we're just light right now.
Yeah, and they weren't talking about it enough for me. But hey, let's talk about two of those main injuries, because they're two players. I mean, that seem to struggle with this consistently. Gabriel Jesus, Thomas Partey. How worried should we be? I mean, I don't fully want to count on Thomas Partey, but man, it would be nice to have him, to be able to play him.
When he is on, he's a top player. He's absolutely top, world class. When he's on, I don't understand how he goes and plays these international games. He plays a full 90 for Ghana, can play all their competitions, comes back and is like, listen, guys, listen, my quad, I don't know. And it's now going to be out, a month, 2 months? I think it's written, man. If he's not a dependable player, no matter how good he is, let's just say, 50 games a season, he can only play, 15? That's what it feels like. He's playing 15 on. That's not enough. That's just not enough games. Cut our losses, bring someone in that can actually play. We need a dependable body. He's not dependable.
He's not. I don't want a contract extension. I want a sell in January. These are just facts.
Yeah, I agree. Then moving on to Jesus. The trend is looking very similar to Partey. Sorry, but it's looking very similar. Not good. So we're talking about potentially buying a forward in January. I wasn't too keen on that. I didn't think that was necessarily something we needed to do, but we are absolutely headed into that direction. Do I think Eddie Nketiah can be our number one striker for 60% of our games? No, I don't. No shot.
40%.
How much you think Jesus is playing 60% of our games? I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's making that cut. Because if he was, I don't really have an issue, but he's getting injured at an increased rate right now. Missed a good portion of the season last year. He's already missed a good portion this year. Not good. it's not looking good. You need dependable players in your squad. This is Arsenal. We've seen this through the years, man. We've absolutely seen it through the years. So I want dependable bodies in there, people that we can count on, that we know will be playing. That's why Xhaka was such a great piece to have. Regardless of how you felt about him, even when he wasn't playing well, guess what? He's always available. He was always available. He's always there. He wasn't getting injured. Someone that you can count on. That is something that I don't think you can measure. Having that body always consistently there to play.
Yeah. And, I mean, speaking of Granit Xhaka, by the way, 16 games unbeaten. Top of the Bundesliga.
Yeah. Shout out.
So, shout out, dude. I'm with you. I think the January factor is... First of all, I said this in the preseason that, like, Mohamed Elneny, not on a lot of talking points. I'd like to see him get some playing time, especially with just what's going on with Jorginho. I'm wondering, how bad could he really play if he's just sideways and gets the ball and just keeps it moving? He seems like he could get the ball moving quicker than Jorginho.
Yeah.
So if it's just a rhythm factor, my point is, I think him, Thomas Partey, Jorginho, I don't know. I think he could do the job if he wanted to. And Thomas Partey, gone in January for me. Striker, yeah, I agree with you. I wasn't also too keen on it, but now it's just looking like we just need a proper guy. And not so much out of disrespect to Eddie. It's actually more that, like, we just need a more consistent player to be able to rotate with you. And not... those rotations can't just happen because of injuries. Like, has to be by choice.
Yeah. So, like, even in the midfield. Now we're light in the midfield because Kai can play up top. That's something that's great about having Havertz. He's a versatile player. He can play up top. He can play in the midfield. He can potentially even play on a wing. But when our midfield's light, guess what? You have to slot him there. He has to come in the midfield now. He can't come in up top. So it's not looking great. One thing, we're talking about the midfield. I think that's a good point about Elneny. Hey, we've seen a big drop off from Jorginho, I think. From how we were playing in our midfield. Oh man, our midfield was strong at the beginning of the year. That's how we were winning games.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a big drop off to Jorginho. Then going to Ødegaard. So he's now injured. But before the injury, he had some tough games, right? Do you think the midfield shakeup is what's kind of caused him to have some of the rough games? Where he's used to Thomas Partey being there, better distributor, I think.
Ødegaard's performances.
And I'm specifically now, I mean, the midfield.
Saying all the shifts around him are affecting his performances.
Yes. So with Jorginho there, it seems the ball's just not getting into him as frequently. Do you think the midfield shakeups affected him? Do you think if Rice was the one at the 6, someone else at the other 8, do you think that's the reason potentially for his little slump in form?
I think the slump in form for Ødegaard, that wasn't something I was ever too worried about. The injury, I'm worried about.
Yeah.
The slump in performance was just like, okay, 1 or 2 games, actually give him some rest. I was totally pro the give him rest part. So, no. But to your point of the midfield being light, I want to talk about Fabio Vieira.
Ooh.
Is this player now starting to become a little bit of a liability? Like, to your point of wanting a solid midfield, he can't play that game against Newcastle. He can't start that game.
Mm-mm.
You know? So if Ødegaard goes out, then yeah, what's the point? If we can't count on him for the big games to show Tottenham, not great. Newcastle, not great. Is the point of Fabio Vieira just to bring him on in like the 80th minute when we're winning 3-0 to make it 4-0? Like, I want to see more out of the player, and I'm starting to think, yeah, we're thin in the middle because also this player can't, like, you don't get a consistent beat out of him. That's not helpful to have on the bench.
Yeah, I think he's a specific game type player. To be honest, I don't. These big games, he's just not the player for it. I don't think he's a player for the big games. He's a player for the mid-table, bottom of the league type teams. You need that technical player. I think that's where he shines. I don't think against these big body midfields, teams that are gonna be able to be more physical. It's a big game. He seems to be more of a shadow in those games than a presence. So that's the way I see that. The midfield it's been tough, man. These last couple weeks, I think it's been tough. Injuries have hurt. Ødegaard's little slump. I'm gonna say I think we're kind of on the same page. I think it's the 6. I think the 6 dictates how we play. And to me, I'd like to see a change from Jorginho. He hasn't played terribly. I think he plays within his means, which is good. But to give him 70 minutes a game, 90 minutes, I don't think he can do it. I'd much rather see him coming in as a sub than starting a game and dictating play for us. I don't think it's conducive to the way we want to play right now.
Yeah.
Jorginho out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing.
Yeah.
But it's the 6 right now.
It's the 6 right now. Let's take a little break. I think Chichi's mom's home, so there's just a lot of background noise, which is filled with excitement. So I want to just pause real quickly.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, we're back, and we wanted to take things to just reflect kind of being halfway through the season, but I was
a quarter of the way through the season.
Sorry, a quarter of the way through the season. That's right. Halfway through playing everyone. But I was just checking X, and Arsenal Football Club have issued a club statement. Want to read it? Do you have it up?
Back the manager. Yeah, Arsenal Football Club wholeheartedly supports Mikel Arteta's post-match comments after yet another unacceptable refereeing and VAR errors on Saturday evening. We'd also like to acknowledge the huge effort and performance from our players and traveling supporters at St. James Park. The Premier League is the best league in the world with the best players, coaches, and supporters, all of whom deserve better. PGMOL urgently needs to address the standards of officiating and focus on action, which moves us all from the retrospective analysis, attempted explanations, and apologies. Woof. We support the ongoing efforts of Chief Refereeing Officer Howard Webb and would welcome working together to achieve the world-class officiating standards our league demands.
Shout out to the comms team.
Back the manager. Absolutely. I love it. Great statement, man.
Good statement, man. Yes. Back the manager, dude. And wow. Let's see how they react to that.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, over under, Mikel Arteta is not on the sidelines against Burnley.
100%. That's an over. We'll see if it's even a match. It might be a couple. I dare them. I mean, that's so great. The fans are going to be singing Super Mick for some time, dude. Absolutely. Back the manager. The way they put that one piece, we're done with the apologies, we're done with the retrospective analysis. That's not good enough. Apologies in this league, who does that help?
It's not good enough, dude. You know what? I'll tell you something, man. I've watched a couple of La Liga games this season, a couple of Bundesliga games this season, and one, they stream on different networks, and like La Liga, I think is through ESPN,
mm-hmm.
and some of their analysis and just like the stats, not so much the punditry, but like the actual graphics and the game analysis, mm-hmm. and some of the, I mean, you even see it in Champions League, the offsides. You know what, man? I mean, just going back to the goal line technology is there. How is there not an end line technology? Like, why not just extend it, right? Just like a little bit more, and then we would know when the ball crosses the line. Why don't we have that? So, tired of the explanations and the apologies, dude.
Tired of the explanations. Biggest league in the world, the most money. Prove it. Prove it to me. Just because you got the best games going on, you got the best teams, you got the best players. If your refereeing isn't up to standard, then the game is going to suffer, and it's suffering. So this is not even talking about Arsenal specifically. I wrote that we have a piece kind of coming out for the newsletter, and there's multiple games included for it. The Onana on Wolves, boom, that's a great explanation. That should have been a penalty. That's affected the outcome of the game. I think the big one was the Liverpool game, right? Who were they playing?
Spurs.
Big decisions affected the game, affected the outcome, and then of course, who knows, the end of the season if these are things are going to matter. But that's big implications. So enough is enough. We'll see. You have to speak out to get change. So shout out to Arteta. Back him. I'm with it. I hope other teams possibly follow suit when things happen as well. Be loud. Stand out. You can't expect change because it's not coming unless you stand up for yourself.
Well said, dude. Well said. So let's move on now to just where things stand in the Premier League. The top 10. So we've had 11 games, and right now the top 4, it's Manchester City, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Newcastle are finished at 5 and 6. Brighton, United, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Chelsea not in the top 10. So halfway through, I did want to ask, who do you think is going to finish in the top 4 this season?
Top 4. I'd say us, City, Pool. I'm going to say Tottenham. I'm going to put Tottenham up there. I think there's a clear top 3, to be honest. I think City, Pool, Arsenal. That's the way I see it. That's a clear top 3. Then and remember, it's 5 this year for Champions League. It's a top 5. So,
okay.
So there is an extra spot. So then it's become, I think, between that 4th and 5th spot, you have Tottenham, Villa currently playing really well, Newcastle, and I wouldn't doubt United can pull together some wins at some point with the squad they have. So it's a tough league, man. It's tight right now. The top is tight.
It really is.
But before who you got? Top 4.
Top 4, I agree with you. I think the current top 4 is going to be the top 4 at the end of the season. Now, I think the places are going to shuffle a little bit, right? I hope to, but we'll see.
Who would you put as your 5?
As my 5, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Newcastle get 5 for me based on form and the way that they just play. United, I agree with you. They could sneak in, especially if they get a new manager. They're such a new manager bounce kind of club these days, so it would be a little worrying. When I say worrying, it's worrying that I don't get to laugh anymore. Because the bounce would be maybe over. But
the bounce.
But no, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Premier League, it's interesting right now the way everything's shaped up. Yeah,
it's tough. It's tight. So we're currently where we sit, but the Liverpool's playing right now, plays this afternoon. Villa's playing right now. We could potentially get jumped by 2 teams.
Villa's losing 2-0 right now.
Oh wow! Forest.
Yeah.
I saw Forest scored early, but we could potentially, well, maybe not with a 2-0 game, but it's tight. It is very tight.
It is, but we're only 3 points behind, so I'm not too worried at this point. And I think that it's just frustrating because there's a big 3 points dropped. But hey, we've had a tough run of games, so it is kind of starting to turn over a little bit. So if you want to look ahead.
Yeah, I think who we have left as far as potential top teams, with Newcastle gone yesterday, we're looking at Liverpool, Villa, and Brighton, kind of as some of the top teams left.
That we haven't played.
We've already played a lot of them. So 3 games, and I'm looking I think it's through December almost. So I think we got to finish through Christmas strong. Finish strong. I think with those 3 games left, Liverpool's going to be the biggest one, I believe, of course. So let's see what happens, man.
Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, well, let's turn our attention just really quickly to chat about Wednesday's game. It's a Champions League game against Sevilla, and then we can also look ahead to the Burnley game next weekend on Saturday. Wednesday at home. What are your expectations?
Win the group.
It's an important game. I think if they win, they kind of clinch it, right?
Yeah. At home, I think you go out and win the game. If you win this game, I think you put yourself in the driver's seat. So, tricky group or not, you put yourself in the driver's seat. So let's win it. I am kind of interested in what we do, man. We're talking about the light squad. To me, you go strong. Jorginho probably plays again. I think he plays again. Zinchenko, I think, probably plays at left back. Strong squad. I'm trying to think of the team we played with Seville last time. It's strong squad, but we go out and win it, to me. I think we win this game. Group's done for the most part, because I think we can put up good performances against PSV and then Lens at home. Let's finish this thing.
Yeah, I think Ben White doesn't start this game.
I think that's a good shout, man.
I feel like Tommy goes right back for this game, and Ben just looks like he needs to clear his head a little bit. And I agree with you. I was reflecting on the Newcastle and not closing down the player. Defensively, ultimately, like, they gave the goal, but yeah, I see you. I hear you.
Yeah. Did you not see it initially? Did you watch it back?
Yeah. And apparently you see Jorginho pointing to him, telling him to go and close it down.
It's weird, right? Isn't that weird that he didn't go? Like, he just let him get the ball and turn and come into the box.
So Ben doesn't play on Wednesday. I think he sits. And yeah, the rest of it, it would be cool to see El Neni play. If it's just a matter of the 6 and you want to play someone 6, it would be cool to see him play. Is he ready? I don't know. But I don't see why not go Rice, Havertz, Vieira. I don't see why not. The attack, it's maybe Eddie sits too. Maybe.
Maybe give Trossard hasn't made a start in a while.
Yeah.
I say get him on. Especially put him at the 9. See what he does. See what he can do.
That feels like a good game to do that.
Yeah.
Especially because then it's Burnley at the weekend, and then it's a big break. So yeah, no, I agree with you, but it's a must-win, I think. And the players will be up for it, I think. But I'm a little cautious that maybe they're too up for it. We're at home. Will there be an early goal that we concede? That's a little bit of a worry. If we concede an early goal, players where they are maybe a little fragile right now. If something goes on, we don't know. But that's just something that worries me. If we go out 2 guns blazing and they get a counter on us kind of early, or they just get a counter on us right before the half, they're a physical team, as we saw.
Yeah.
So
we had them at 2-0. Remember, it seemed like we were cruising to an easy victory. They brought that goal back, and they're trying to put it on us for the last 15-20 minutes. I think the stadium's going to be buzzing, though, after what just happened this weekend. I think the fans are going to be up for it, backing the team, backing the manager, letting everybody know, we support you, we're with you. So I imagine that it's
us against the world, baby.
Yeah. So I think it'll be buzzing. I think you made a good point about Ben White. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out. Tomiyasu starts. He should start. He deserves it. He's been our best outside back in the recent weeks. And he can play, obviously, either side. Zinchenko hasn't looked great, but he's sat a few games now, so let him get out, let him play. Maybe it helps out the midfield a little bit, get him running in there, help out Jorginho. I think he starts again. We're light, bro. We're just light. I think Jorginho plays again.
We are, but you mentioned Tommy, and I want to say it's Sunday, and it's Tommy's birthday, actually. Hey. So he's 25. Happy birthday, Tommy.
Happy birthday.
And I agree with you fully, because I do think that right now in the Premier League, Tommy is my 13th man of the year. He's just been performing so amazingly, playing across the back 4. putting in a shift, and he wants it. He wants the starting shirt.
Mhm.
So I agree. Give it to him, and that's the point of having, the depth, at least in one area where it still remains, right? Is there's competition still there. So check yourself, Benny.
Trossard getting a start. I think that makes a lot of sense. Too bad Smith-Rowe's not there. That would be a decent game, I think, for him to get a look. But I think starting Kai again, probably in the midfield. Rice obviously is going to get the nod. But I think I think we're going to win. Do you think we're going to win this game?
Yeah. I think it's a win. I expect a win. It's 4-0. If I'm putting out a prediction at home, it's 4-0, bro.
If we win this game, we're in the driver's seat. Absolutely. And we can close it out in those last 2 games. No problem to me.
With how light the squad has gotten to, I'd rather just be able to lock that up as quickly as possible, right?
Yes. Yeah, so maybe we can throw away the last game. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, so that's the Sevilla game. I don't think we'll have a reaction to that game. I think we'll just wait for Saturday against Burnley and then see each other again at the weekend. So I do want to hear sort of, what do you think about the Burnley game? It's kind of very difficult to predict about it, just with the injuries and everything, but kind of a must-win, too, in the league.
Is that one, is it home or away?
I'm not sure.
Let's see.
It's
home. Home game. 11:11. 10 a.m. here.
Veterans Day in the U.S. Shout out to the veterans.
Shout out to the vets.
Thank you for your service.
Win. It's at home, so always any game at home, gotta win it. I haven't watched this new Burnley squad. To be honest with you, I haven't watched them. Been some company team. Haven't watched new Burnley. Old Burnley, never liked playing the old Burnley, dude. That was never fun. Never a good experience. Always an ugly game. But Burnley's, I think they're having a tough season as well. They're at the bottom. So let's go out and win the game. This would be a good one to get if we could get another big victory, of course. I don't want to trample on you or anything, but a 4-0 would be great if we could get a 4-0. But same squad. I mean, strong squad. I think we don't play around, man. Just put out your strongest 11, Arteta. Put them out. Let's do the work. I really don't have a lineup prediction because we're light. Doesn't really matter at this point. Doesn't really matter what we say, right? He's gonna do what he's gonna do. I'd like to see Rice at the 6. That's all I really care about. Put him at the 6 and do whatever else you want with the rest of the squad. Rice at the 6 for me going forward. But yeah, win the game. What you got?
Burnley, I want to win. Right? I mean, come on,
Always.
guys. I haven't watched much of Burnley either, but I think I saw a little bit of the season opener against City. They got smacked up though.
Yeah.
And then no, not much else. So I can't really talk about what to expect from them. But who cares? This is an Arsenal podcast, and I expect our team to show up, and I expect them to perform, and I think they'll have still a bitter taste because they have to be able to differentiate between Champions League feelings and Premier League feelings, and the Premier League is just, it's stacked against us right now, man. So I hope you use that as much as motivation as you can squeeze out of it, and let's go get the win. Yeah,
when they see Mikel not on the sideline with them, maybe that'll be that motivation too.
Yeah, he'll be back at his home. I'm gonna have to rewatch the documentary to remember how he did his virtual coaching against City.
No, get the win. The only thing we can say is probably Rice at the 6. Love to see it. El Neni is a good shout. But hey, let's just get the win. I don't think any team we put out is worse or on par with the Burnley squad. Our squad is superior. Go out and win the game. That's it.
Go out and win the game. I love that, dude. All right. So just one last thing before we part. Dude, the women love scoring bangers, bro. If you're not following, you have to check out some of the highlights of the last couple of games. McCabe, I think, is the person's name, who just had a brace at the very last game. And, Dude, go watch those goals, man.
Okay.
They're so nice. They're so nice.
We talking some outside the box, some Rangers.
One of them was outside the box as Ranger, and the second one, it was like a set piece, and she just like brings it down with her thigh and then volleys it.
Ooh,
and it's
clean.
It's nice, dude. And actually, they just had a game against Manchester City in the English Women's Super League. And the women are victorious, 2-1. They've handed Manchester City their first loss of the season, and now they've become 2-1-1. So they had a little bit of a rough start to the season, the women, and it looks like they're starting to get back on track.
Good, excellent. Shout out to them. I'll watch those goals back. I love watching some highlights like that. So.
Sounds good, man. Well, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a review and rate the show, and share it on social. It's the best way for others to find out about us. So we will see you next time after the Burnley game.
Peace.